All right, I'm going to get started to respect your time. Um, welcome to coming to our orientation session, and it's really wonderful to see new faces here. There's many of you that I haven't met in person, so I'm really glad you're here, and then to see the people that I do remember from other scenarios, including you, Angel, seeing you. So we're recording this orientation session, so you can share it with your staff, or you can check back if you need to revisit anything that we go over. We're going to be presenting a lot of information today, so I invite you to ask your questions in the chat, and we may stop the presentation to answer your questions too. So please feel free to write something there, and one of us will answer you, or the person presenting will stop and answer your question. So I'm going to start this orientation session with some comments about SIBA's mission. So SIBA's mission and the goal of our work as staff is to provide members with education, advocacy, networking opportunities, times you can meet with peers and mentors and industry experts, and to offer continued support for professional development and success. As members of SIBA, you receive a great number of member-only opportunities, like discounted pricing and rebates on education, and special pricing and support through scholarships and grants to attend SIBA hosted events. And these are just two of the membership benefits, which we'll be discussing more in depth in a few minutes. January is the perfect time for this session for many reasons. Among them is that we have so many new members. Almost 100 new members joined SIBA within the last year. And the timing is also great because we just transitioned to a new website, which makes finding and using your member benefits so much easier than in the past. Our new site was created with you front and center in all of our planning. Every element of it was personally selected, personally curated, no AI, as much as we could handle that, and prioritizing your user experience. So I'm really excited that you'll get to look at our site with us, especially if this is your first time checking it out. So now I want to introduce our amazing staff. Nikki Leone is SIBA's website and systems administrator. She's also our lead on communications. She's the one who writes our heads up emails that you receive, and she's the editor of our newsletters. Candace Huber is our member relations coordinator for SIBA. They're also our social media coordinator. SP Rankin is in charge of website design, development, and management. And she is also SIBA's official photographer and also NVNR's official photographer. So many of the photographs on our new website were taken by SP. And we also have Andy Richardson, who's our sales coordinator. She works with publishers placing promotions that you'll receive in your inboxes and in our newsletters. And she wants you to hear about the best new books, so she's always looking for those. So I'm going to take a moment to talk to you about how to communicate with SIBA and how we engage with you. We communicate with you in a number of ways. One of them is through our newsletter, which comes out on Thursdays. That Thursday afternoon newsletter is the one email, if you have to choose one from SIBA to open, that I recommend you look at because you can stay on top of SIBA's programming and industry news there. We also send out an email on Mondays. I write that one, and it's to catch you up on 2 or 3 particularly important and timely things that we don't want you to miss. We also send you heads up emails like the one you received about this session, so to remind you about those things. And you can always contact the SIBA staff and board by responding to any email from a SIBA address, and we'll direct it to the appropriate person. You can also contact us through the site at the Contact SIBA area at the bottom of our homepage. Another way to engage with us is to open the e-blast, which are emails you receive from SIBA that promote new titles. These are titles that publishers really want SIBA booksellers to know about. And they offer things like ARCs, special deals on orders, ways to order through Edelweiss or direct to them. So they're a great way for you to build connections with the marketing folks of those publishers and develop your relationships with them for potential author events. So we highly recommend you open those e-blasts because they may be titles or offers that are perfect for your store. So I'm going to turn things over to Nikki and SP to give you a brief overview of the site and our goals around it.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen and Linda Marie, is it up for you?
It's good.
I can't see. Okay, I can't see anybody, so somebody wave their hands, tell me if you really can't see a thing. This is SIBA's homepage that I'm on, and before I give a sort of overview of the website, I did want to say, in response to what Linda Marie said about connecting with SIBA and staying connected with SIBA, one of the things that you can do is we do have staff and board contact information under the About menu item. If you scroll down, you'll see a list of your current board members. Here they all are. And even further down, here's your current staff members, SIBA staff members. And each one of them has an option to email them. So if there's anything that you want to talk to SIBA about, whether it's to a specific staff person or to your board, that is the place to go to do it. You can also, as Linda Marie said, use the contact form. There's a link to that at the bottom of every page, and that will be directed to the person that you want to receive the message. So, okay, so SIBA's new website. We worked very hard on this all last year, and we're very pleased with it. But the jury's still out as to what you all will think about it. I did want to open by saying that in our annual meeting in October, this last October, the reason we said that we were upgrading our member database and redesigning our website was that our previous website had some pretty major issues with it. We'd had it for a long time. It was an old site built when SIBA's membership was very, very different. It was hard to use, hard to find things. And it had accessibility issues that could not be corrected by SIBA with the platform that we were working on. So the new website we knew had to fix all of these things. It had to be easy to use. And I'm happy to say that this site is actually truly mobile friendly in all of its parts. I mean, you can use it on your phone, you can use it on an iPad or a tablet, you can use it on a desktop, and it performs well in all those scenarios. And we also fixed navigation so that wherever you are in the site, there's a way to get back to where you were. There shouldn't be any dead ends, so to speak. And we tried to make it possible to find things in multiple different ways so that you'll always end up at what you're looking for. As far as finding information, the first thing we decided was that SIBA's web homepage would have all the most important actionable, what you would call actionable information. So there is this sort of sliding banner you see here at the very top of the page that runs through the things that we think are most important right now, and that will change fairly often as SIBA's programs get moving. You'll see that right now one of the important things is our March Madness bookseller series. Some of you have been reading about that. Another thing is that we have a call for authors out for some upcoming events. This is also where you will see information, the list of upcoming events, and also where you'll see news items that we think are very important, things that highlight SIBA booksellers, things about deadlines that are coming up or programs that are coming up, all will be on this page. So if you really don't know where to look to find something, the first thing to do would be to go to the homepage and see if you find it there. I think we did a pretty good job of that. The other thing that we had to do was make the site accessible. And one of the great things about this platform from a SIBA's perspective, a staff member's perspective, is that it comes with the inbuilt, what you would call accessibility checker that's very up to date. So all of the content that we load on can be checked with a click of a button, and we get highlighted as to any potential issues that we might have overlooked, and we can correct them before we post them. So that's been a big improvement. And I did run our website periodically as we were developing it through various, checkers, online compliance checkers. And so far, we're scoring very, very highly. So I'm pleased about that. And finally, as far as reflected, as the website reflects SIBA's membership today, Lynn Marie mentioned the photographs. We actually have been diligently, like, sort of taking pictures of SIBA members and SIBA booksellers doing SIBA bookseller things, and basically any photo that you see on this website of people at events, you're seeing SIBA people at SIBA events and SIBA people in SIBA bookstores. We wanted this site to reflect. We wanted people to see themselves. We wanted booksellers to see themselves when they came to SIBA's website. SIBA may call itself a trade organization, but it's basically, we are fundamentally our members. And so right now we have about 314 bookstore members, but what that really means is we have that many bookstore owners and their business partners and their staffs and employees and volunteers and interns, all of those. That's what SIBA is, and that's who we wanted you to see when you came onto the website. So with that in mind, the other thing that we wanted to make it easy for people to do is find their member benefits and be able to access their benefits. And we do that through the booksellers tab. For booksellers will be the list of all of your member benefits. If you're an industry person like a publisher or an author, your benefits will be under the industry tab. And we have a special programs tab that goes into some details about some of those benefits. But I'm going to turn that part of it over to Candace to talk about bookseller benefits, because that's really where it all begins. So I'm going to stop sharing and turn it over to Candace. And Linda Marie, did I run through and ignore anybody's questions or anything in the middle of that sort of lightning overview?
I didn't see any questions, but I do encourage you all watching that if you do have questions, please put them in the chat and we can stop and answer your questions. If we don't get to your question, we'll get back with you too. So carry on, Candace.
Hello, everybody. I'm Candace. I'm your membership coordinator. So your sort of main contact at SIBA. If you have any questions or about your benefits or programming or just anything, you can always come to me first. And even if I'm not the one, I can point you in the right direction. Although the whole SIBA staff is amazing. But I am sort of the bookseller person for SIBA, so happy to be that. And also, I own my own bookstore called Tubby and Coos. It's located in New Orleans, so I'm also a Southern bookstore owner, just like all of you. So happy to try to answer as many questions as I can. My bookstore has been open about 12 years now. And so I know we have a lot of new booksellers. So if you need any help, let me know. I'm going to talk about your SIBA benefits today. So I'm going to share my screen. Let's see. Here we go. Hopefully y'all can see it. Please let me know if you cannot.
Looks good.
We're good. Okay, great. So this is the booksellers tab on the site, which is the main tab for, of course, booksellers. We have some very happy booksellers here. And so this is where you can find all of the information on your SIBA benefits. You can see, again, benefits of membership. I will go over this in a second. Our membership brochure is here. If you want to just look at it, it's an internal thing. I have like a blocker on there, so mine doesn't come up, but you should be able to see that. You can also look at our marketing programs and opportunities. One of the big things here, the two big things are the catalogs and our Southern Bookseller Review. So the catalogs, SP works diligently on the catalogs all year long. And this is both a summer catalog and a winter catalog. It's completely free for SIBA booksellers, and it is like a wonderful marketing program that you can learn more about here, please, if you're a new store, you definitely want to take advantage of this. You can order catalogs in the wintertime. You can get them imprinted. You can mail them out. There's a lot of great things you can do with these catalogs. And when they come out, we try to give you ideas of what you can do with them as well. So it's completely free to y'all. So that's a really big benefit of SIBA. And it really helps SIBA for you to order the free catalogs as well. So you can support SIBA and we can support you. We also have the Southern Bookseller Review, which is actually unique to SIBA. It's a consumer facing website and literary magazine where we feature reviews from you, our Southern booksellers. And so if you submit reviews via Edelweiss, you can get into the SIBA Edelweiss community. You can email Nikki and she can put you in there. And then whenever you are writing your reviews in Edelweiss, you can share them with us and we will receive them and then we can put them on the website for the Southern Bookseller Review. We also have social media for that. So we'll feature your reviews on social media. And when that happens, I usually tag you, your store for the review, and we tag the publisher and we tag the author. So it also helps with store visibility if you review books, because you can get on the Southern Bookseller Review. There's also, I know Nikki is going to talk about it more, but there's also a newsletter that goes out. So it's really good for store visibility, and it is unique to SIBA. We also, of course, have a lot of bookseller events. As Nikki mentioned, the major one coming up is our March Madness event, which you can register for right now. It's one of our most popular events of the year. Booksellers really love it. It's sort of a smaller, more intimate kind of event where you can really network with other booksellers in your area. We have an author lunch and we have bookseller education, which the stores that are hosting actually like work on that bookseller education, and it's based on what they feel like they do best. These are really, really great events. So I encourage everyone to find the one that's closest to you and register for that one. You can also attend as many of those as you want. So if you see that you can go to quite a few, you can attend all of them if you really want to. So that's what's cool about our March Madness. We also offer scholarships and financial assistance. You can click here to get the list of that. As Linda Marie said earlier, a lot of it is to support our booksellers attending our events. So especially NVNR, New Voices, New Rooms, which is our annual conference that's coming up in August. This year it's in Baltimore. It's going to be very exciting. I've never been to Baltimore, so I'm excited to go. But we have a lot of scholarships and financial assistance. We also have financial assistance for the Professional Booksellers School for y'all. So if you want to take any courses, you get both an upfront discount and a rebate if you complete the course and get certified. So we support you financially in that way as well. We also have our wonderful peer bookseller resource library. I really encourage everyone, especially the newer folks here, to use this. This is where stores submit resources that they use, and then other stores can go and look them up. You do have to be logged in to use that. But things like if you're trying to set up a consignment program at your store, you can look up there. We have like publicity kits and press kits from other stores there. We have banned books resources there. So there's a lot of cool stuff in the library. So I really encourage everyone to go and explore that as well. So that's just a quick overview of your SIBA benefits. We also have a lot with store visibility and social media. So if you want your store to be featured both in our newsletter and on social media, you can email me and I can send you the information for that and we will feature you. We also have coming up our SBP Southern Book Prize scavenger hunt. So a call for that I think has either gone out or is going out soon. And that is where we get a bunch of stores to participate and everyone sort of supports each other on social media. Everyone posts a book and we get consumers to go around and like follow and like and comment on every single store there. So I think that will be a fun thing as well. Linda Marie, did you have something?
Yes. Were you going to show the special page that you had a big hand in creating for new bookstores?
Yep, that's the next thing. So, so here we go. So new or prospective owners, start here, this giant button. If you click that, this is a page that, the one page that I wrote most of the content for here. And this is all for brand new store owners. So there's 5 things to add to your to-do list, the first 5 things to do, all the places for you to explore, all the ways that SIBA communicates with you, and you can communicate with us, a bunch of resources. So this is a really good page to start with if you're a new or prospective owner. And I think this is also in the welcome email if you're a new store that has just joined SIBA as well. And then for everyone in general, the last thing I want to talk about is updating your profile. So when you log in here, you can see up at this top left, it says Candace Huber, Chubby and Coos. If you click on that, that will bring you to your member compass, is what it's called. And you can update all the information here about your store. First of all, it'll show you all of your membership information and some SIBA news. But if over here, you can click on company if you are an owner or have access, you can click on company and you can fill out all the information about your store. The more you fill out, the better it is for SIBA. But the main thing we want everyone to do is to upload a logo because we're trying to create a store directory on our website. And right now, it just looks like a bunch of blank pictures. So we would love it if everybody would go here and upload your logo. It's all the way at the bottom. You can also go to this People's tab and you can add staff or you can remove staff if you have management access. So you can actually manage your own staff members here as well. And that would be really great for you to put your staff here so that they can also receive SIBA communications like our newsletter and e-blasts for advanced review copies and things like that as well. And so we just want to make sure that everyone logs in and updates your profile. And finally, we have a Discord server that I want to make sure that everyone knows about. So I'm going to stop sharing because that was the last thing. But we do have a Discord server that we want everyone to join. I hope it gets more active, but it's for y'all to be able to network with each other as well throughout the year and ask questions and support each other. So I will put the invitation to the Discord server in the chat as well. And we would love to go and for y'all to go and get onto there and talk with each other. And yes, March Madness is free. I'm sorry I didn't mention that, but it is absolutely free to all of you SIBA members. And I think that's everything. So I will pass it back over, I believe, to Nikki.
You can take a breath for a second.
We're going through stuff so fast, y'all. But look at the website. That's where most things are.
Okay, I'm good to go back to sharing. I hope I do it better this time. Am I sharing?
Yes, we're good.
Okay, good. And a brief, just quick, because I have to show this. When Candace was saying about the store logos, this is what they're talking about here, and it's really sort of intimidating to look at this as it is. So yes, please log on and put your store logo up. One good reason to put it up is one of the things we will do. This is our current bookstore members, and there is a map function to it, which we will be using. I'll talk about it in just a second to help people find other people. Some of you talked about March Madness. If you're going to Main Street Reads event in Somerville, South Carolina, here's all the bookstores, in that area within what I would say driving distance of that event, so to speak. So we definitely want to actually see your personalities on the maps and on the directory lists. So for that to happen, y'all just need to put your logos onto your account. So please do that. I'm just going to go into a little more detail with some of the programs that Candace mentioned. One thing I did want to say, SIBA's programming, we think of it in terms of two different categories. There is what we call industry or bookseller facing programming, like March Madness. Those are events and programs where booksellers, they're prioritize bookseller development and business, their store operations and business development and education. March Madness would be a good example of that. It's only for bookstores to talk to other bookstores and share information and expertise. The other category we have is what we call consumer facing, and that is programs that bookstores can use with their customers. The catalogs would be an example of that. And the reason why I wanted to mention that is the catalogs, the SIBA seasonal catalogs, there's a summer one and a winter one. They are free for bookstores to participate in. They are paid for by publishers listing their titles in these catalogs. The quality control is very, very, very high. So it's a great piece to have and would be beyond the budgets of most individual bookstores to do for themselves. And it's an important source of revenue for SIBA because it funds a lot of the scholarships and reimbursements and other money that we turn around and give back to booksellers to help with other development programs. Somebody, Candace had mentioned about the scholarships page and financial assistance page. That is largely funded by money that's made from publishers supporting the seasonal catalogs, and their support is more likely if the catalogs have SIBA's bookstore support. So we want it to work for everybody. We're interested in your input, but please do consider signing up for catalog programs. You're going to start seeing invitations to sign up for that sometime within the next month, sometime in February, I think is when it all kicks off. So that's catalogs. But the main thing I wanted to talk about in terms of consumer facing is what Candace talked about, the Southern Bookseller Review. As they said, this is a website and newsletter that features what it says on the tin. It features reviews by Southern SIBA member booksellers of different kinds of books. And it was started a while ago, like a couple of years ago, at least what, 5 years ago, about 5 years ago, because SIBA was trying to convince publishers that our booksellers in our territory did not just read Southern fiction, that in actual fact, or Southern literature, they read everything. You guys read all sorts of things, from poetry to literature and translation to children's books to YA to fantasy. Really, the sky's the limit as to what you guys read. And that you all are important influencers and can make the success of a book if you get behind it. So the Southern Bookseller Review, in part, one of its goals is to demonstrate that to publishers. And it's had a positive effect, and we've seen publishers now more willing to send different kinds of authors into SIBA territory, for example, and into the bookstores in SIBA territory. And for booksellers, SBR has a lot of sort of marketing programs. We have a feature called Read This Next, which is a list of books coming out in the given month or the next 2 months that are receiving a lot of Southern Indie Bookstore support. The Southern Indie Bestseller List also makes its home on the Southern Bookseller Review. And there is also the Southern Book Prize, which is in progress right now and also lives on the Southern Bookseller Review. So here is a picture. Here's the website. And this is just a list of some of the books that booksellers have recently had reviews submitted for. A lot of fantasy, I think in support of, there's Friends of Fantasy Day coming up on January 31st, I think. But it really, there's a lot of different kinds of fiction, nonfiction, all sorts of different things. We have about 90 bookstores whose reviews are represented on the website right now. And this is an example that's just went out, so you may have it in your inbox, but this is what the newsletter looks like. And sorry, my internet's a little slow here, so bear with me. See if I can get that to load. I'll give that a second. But while that's loading, I'll also talk about the Southern Book Prize. The Southern Book Prize is the one Southern literature thing, focus thing that we do. And it is, oh, Linda Marie, I'm sorry, my internet is just died right now. But it features about 18 different titles, I think, 6 in fiction, 6 in nonfiction, 6 in what we would call young readers. And it is a ballot of of books that have received a lot of Southern Indie support over the previous year. Oh, here we go. Yay. Over the previous year, and we create a ballot, and then that ballot is open to your customers in order to vote on their favorites, so that the final winners of the Southern Book Prize are basically Reader's Choice Awards. And so here's a list of the finalists. And once again, I apologize for how slow my internet is being right now. And here is here are some of the titles. And you can find specific reviews for each of those titles. I'm not going to click on that since it's being so slow. And there is a ballot that's trying to load here as well. Because the ballot is open to the reading public, and we want bookstores to be able to engage their customers with it and get them rallying around their favorite authors and their favorite books from last year. And one of the things that the ballot does ask, aside from asking them to pick their favorite fiction and nonfiction and children's or young readers book, is it asks what bookstore they shop at. And then it asks them to say something nice that they like about that bookstore. And the great thing about that is what people are saying. A lot of people say, oh, that they have great events, or that they make great recommendations, the staff is very knowledgeable. That sort of thing is wonderful. But what has really been sort of striking as these ballots come in is how many people say things like, it's a sanctuary for me, or this store is like a second home, or I feel welcome here. And there is a pervading, I guess you would call it, sense of gratitude from the people who are filling out their ballots and placing their votes for their local bookstores. So SIBA will take all those nice things that people said and compile them and send them to the bookstore that they're about. And it's really sort of, a great sort of feel-good moment to go through them when the ballots are submitted, periodically every day. We always go and look and see what they say. And that is really sort of brings home how important SIBA member stores are to their specific communities. They're nothing but amazing things said about all the SIBA bookstores on the ballot. Did my newsletter? Yay, and here's the newsletter. So this is an example of the newsletter that ends up in your inbox. Let's talk a little bit about Friends of Fantasy, which this day was started by a bookseller from Parnassus Books, but it sort of got taken up by, nationwide. So there's all sorts of stores that are getting involved with it, but here's a list of some of the stores in SIBA territory that are getting involved with it. You can still sign up to participate if you haven't. If you're so you can. There's a link in the top of the newsletter for you to just go there and sign up, and they'll put you on the list. And then the rest of the newsletter is just simply reviews that you've submitted about books that you love. And I usually put in a couple of fiction, at least one nonfiction. There's what we call a bookseller buzz, which is a book that's gotten lots and lots of reviews. So we sort of put them all together about the one book. And then there's YA and children's, picture book. And then the final thing that I want to make sure that you all know we do is decide for yourself, which is we pull bookseller reviews of books that have been listed on the PEN America Banned and Challenged Books list. And these are what you all have to say about some of the books that are currently being challenged in various places, not just southern states, but really anywhere. So think, yeah, that's pretty much it. And then we also have the Southern bestseller list. So that's an example of the newsletter. And I will say one other thing that has happened when now that SIBA's gotten this newsletter started and pretty well established, we have a 9,000 going on 10,000 subscriber list right now, is that we get contacted by publishers and by authors asking how to get their books reviewed in the Southern Bookseller Review. And we like it when that happens because we can turn around and say we only publish reviews that are written by Southern booksellers, and that we put them in touch with you. So it's a way to establish or to promote the relationship between our member stores and publishers and authors who have new books out. And then the only other thing I think I wanted to mention.
Before you leave this page, I don't know if you mentioned this, but that the buy links you always associate with.
Oh, yes. The buy links always click back to the store that reviews the books. Yeah, that would be mean for it not to do that. So since Parnassus reviewed If We Were Dogs, if you click on this, and once again, I'm not going to click on anything right now because my internet's so slow, but if you do click on this, you'll be taken to the Parnassus website to buy the book. And that is true. None of these books click through to something else. That always clicks back to the store to purchase the book. So it's a way to drive traffic to your websites. And we do have an option for bookstores who do regularly review on the Southern Bookseller Review to run those reviews on their own websites as a kind of little widget sort of thing. Which acts as sort of a always current staff pick section if you want to use it that way. Let's see. Yeah, here's Avid Bookshop does it. And you can see here's their Southern Bookseller Review. Here's the 5 most recent books that they have reviewed. It's coming straight from the Southern Bookseller Review, and they just embedded it onto their site, and it's like, they don't have to think about staff picks anymore, because it just shows up there. And I did want to say, when it comes to reviewing for the Southern Bookseller Review, because that's the most common question, we get most of our reviews via Edelweiss. So if you do not have an account on Edelweiss, we do highly recommend it. It's immensely useful. And what we do is, if you are interested in the book and you want to review it, you just sort of click on the review section, the review button, and see if we can get that to come up. There it is. You write your review here, and there's a section called Communities right there. And if you click on the little thing, you'll see all the communities that you have access to, and SIBA should be on there. If SIBA is not on there, because we do have it's a closed community. We don't let just anybody join. You have to be a member of SIBA to join. You can email me and request that you be put on there, and I'll put you on there, and then you'll have the option to check that box. We receive a report from Edelweiss of all of the submitted reviews, and in a given, say, 2 weeks or so, actually 7 days maybe, but that report has, on average, over 100 reviews every week. So you guys are very prolific readers. I think that is all I really wanted to say about the Southern Bookseller Review. Linda Marie, is there something else that you want me to go over programming wise?
No, I think that's good.
Okay, then I'm going to stop sharing, and if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
There's a question. Are you reviewing only newer books?
No, we will publish whatever you're reading. actually. We do tend to, I will say that we publish the books that you want to sell, right? So if there are people who will write what you would call literary critical type reviews. And if we publish those, we only publish the nice parts of them, but it's mostly to get people to buy the book from you. So
That was a good question. And the books that we highlight that are, potentially banned books, a lot of those are backlist, but they're a way to spread the word
mhm.
about the importance of them. I mentioned, it hasn't come up as a question, but uh, Nikki, you create a lot of printable assets and also digital assets to support member programs.
Yes. Yes, read this next, which is the section of the website and that has uh, five to five books for adults and six books for children that are coming out in the immediate future or that given month. Um, those are books that have multiple positive, enthusiastic reviews from SIBA booksellers, and we make a flyer for it and create. Like social media share graphics and things for them. So basically to make things that you can use as in-store signage, really. So if you want to do, it's like a little ready-made display of new books that are getting a lot of attention, at least among Southern booksellers. It's not unusual for them to then get attention on a wider national level, but we tend to pick the ones, we tend to pick the ones that have the most enthusiastic reviews, but we also look for sort of a diversity of genre and a diversity of bookstores. SIBA is a really large territory, and the Southern Bookseller Review tries to represent the entire range of it, from Florida to Virginia to Arkansas, back down to Louisiana and Mississippi. There's what now 314 SIBA member bookstores in our territory. So we try to represent as many of them as possible and as many kinds of books as possible.
Are there any more questions?
Erica, I'll fix that for you.
If you want to unmute and ask any questions too, since you have us, it would be great. Just as we're closing out, the things to keep track of is on Thursdays, our newsletter comes out Thursday afternoon. It's the best resource on what we're doing. March Madness is coming up soon, and it's 10 stores across 9 states. Hopefully, there's one that's we try to have them within 2 to 3 hours of driving distance of most of our stores. So I hope you take advantage of that and meet some booksellers there. It's a great way to be in community and meet authors, get ARCs, and learn best. The end of the day, always people share the best things that are happening in their stores. So the goal is to come away from these March Madnesses with a number of ideas you can take, do in your store too. But otherwise, I think we'll close out there. And we really appreciate you taking the time today to spend this time with us and learn more about what we're doing.